Hi, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Kelsey.
And we are Pilates Before Pickup. We're here with our very special guest, Eliza Shirazi, owner and founder of the FEMPIRE Kick It by Eliza.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. We're so excited to have you. I remember when we were first kind of like marinating on what Pilates Before Pickup was turning into. And we were like, we need to have conversations and we need to have a guest. One of the first ones that Stacey was like, we need to have Eliza.
I'm so
I told you that. That's a real story.
It's a real story. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. And you were kind of like top of mind when we were thinking about having guests here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to chat with you both.
Before we get started, cheers to Blue Canoe for keeping us caffeinated and awake.
Cheers,
Us mamas
we love you. This
are
is
tired.
The coconut macaroon, and let me tell you, it just changed my life. I'm like, what is this?
It's vacation.
What is this?
It's vacation in a cup. Right?
That's not good. ASMR. Here, a lot to unpack with Eliza.
A lot.
Good thing I'm sitting down for this.
Oh, you better sit. You better sit down there in the audience. Take a seat.
So, Eliza, let's start from the beginning. Take us back to the very beginning, as
Sure.
Hillary Duff once said. Let's
go back.
This is so much fun already. I love it. Going back for me is going back like over a decade ago. So it always feels like kind of this big task of like, what was the beginning? Because I felt like a baby in the beginning. I was in college, and even before my freshman year in college, I grew up dancing, which is an important note because it leads into why I'm into movement and what led me into movement. And when I entered my freshman year, it was really the summer before, I tried out for the dance team at UMass Amherst because I wanted to keep
Major
dancing.
dance team.
Yes, dance team energy. And I didn't make the team in the summer audition. And my freshman year, they were hosting auditions one more time. So I thought, let me give it another shot. And didn't make it the second time either. And it was a really weird moment of, well, what am I supposed to do without this creative outlet? And how am I supposed to move my body and have community? And I didn't want to be on the treadmill or the elliptical. I tried it, like I went to the campus rec center. I'm like, I guess I'll try this. And it just felt so soul-sucking to just be like on a piece of equipment and not have this creative outlet anymore. So I decided to take a group fitness class. And at the time at UMass, they were building a brand new rec center, but until that was open, the group fitness classes were being hosted in a racquetball court. And so I went to the racquetball court and I took a step aerobics class, which, by the way, step aerobics is making a comeback right now.
Yeah. That's iconic. I have to know what year this was.
This was 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're the same age then.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. Yeah. So,
Told you.
Stacey's like, I told you.
I know. I'm just double checking because like step aerobics, I'm like,
check.
2009 was a wild time.
It was wild. It was like the basics of group fitness at the time, It wasn't necessarily like the 80s, where it was like the boom of group fitness in that era, but 2009, it was creeping back into, it was like people were taking the basics and it was creeping back into that next boom of fitness. And I loved the class. I wasn't new to group fitness, but it wasn't something I had done a ton growing up because I was dancing. But I had gone to classes with my mom at the local gym in high school. And I remember just really enjoying this class, and I went up to the instructor after and I said, how do you get started to teach a class? And she was so gracious, and she connected me to the group fitness director at UMass at the time. And from there, I just kept pursuing it. I reached out to the group fitness director, and she had me in for a meeting, which I didn't realize was going to be an audition, just totally naive. And she said, show me what you want to teach. And I remember it so clearly. I was in a BB or Bebe, however you want to pronounce it, velour matching teal jumpsuit. And I really pulled something out of my butt. I was just like, do something.
You
Eliza.
weren't prepared.
No. I was like, just do something. Like, figure it out, perform. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. And
such a dancer mentality. It's like, well, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean, I had already done 2 auditions for this dance team. So like, what's the worst that can happen? Like I'm just with this group fitness director, like just make something up, like do it. And it was definitely like a boxing inspired ditty that I did because I loved the step class, but growing up, I was doing like turbo kick, and I don't know I don't think I got into like the Tai Bo stuff at a young age. I know that was really still, people really love that, but I took inspiration from like what I knew best at the time, and she hired me and she said, "Great, like what do you want to call the class?" And I said, "Let's call it Kick It," and I just really like
On the
made it up, really made it up. And if it wasn't for her giving me that chance, my career would probably be very different today. But she just took a bet on me and said, "I think you'd be great for our schedule." And then the second semester, my freshman year, that new rec center opened. So it was timing as well, because all of the students on campus were like, "We need to get to this brand new rec center.
They want to be in there."
It was so exciting and beautiful and gorgeous and fun. And I just happened to start teaching when that opened. So it was a lot of timing, but also going after what I really wanted, I look back and I think like I kind of had guts to do. I don't know if I'd have
your freshman year.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have the guts now to like just do that. Yeah. But at the time, I guess I didn't really see any risk involved, which is very interesting when I reflect on it.
Yeah. So cool. I never knew that was your freshman year.
Yeah.
Literally your whole college career.
Yeah. I was really hell-bent on figuring out how I'm going to find like a sense of community.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't let go of creative movement.
So cool.
So I had to figure it out.
So did you have a moment in college when you were like, wait, this could be something after all this?
Yeah, it always was not even at the back of my mind. It was top of mind because everyone's figuring out like, what are you going to do after school? Like, or what job are you going to get? Everyone's applying for internships. So it was always kind of top of mind of, can I turn this into an actual business? But I'm actually risk adverse. Like I talk about, taking these chances my freshman year. But when it came to my actual career, I was thinking about stability, and I was studying public health and health sciences, and I wanted to get into some sort of health lane. And I really wanted to think about a paying job first. I wasn't actually thinking about taking this full force when I graduated. That was mostly from not understanding how I could do it. So I was kind of taking a safer bet of let me get a job or let me get an internship. So I actually started working at the Brigham straight out of college, and I was teaching anywhere that I could. And it works out when you go to a state school. Like a lot of people from that school were in Boston. Mm-hmm. So either it was like recent grads or people in my class were moving to the city, and they were asking me, where can we take your class? Like, you're going to teach, right? Yeah. So is that encouragement that really pushed me to find places to teach after work or before work, but it was mostly after work. And I remember I would take the T everywhere to teach. It was like, thinking back on it, was absolutely ridiculous. And I would get home at like ungodly hours at night.
Were you living in the city at
I was
that
living
time?
in Cambridge.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was doing whatever I could to teach anywhere. And I really did it for the pure fun of it all. I didn't care how much I was getting paid. I just really was so happy teaching. And it was backyards, factories, studios. And then over time it evolved into more well-known places like Equinox or Everybody Fights. Like that came a little bit later in my career, but I really was just so jazzed to be teaching, period. And that people wanted me to. And everyone had big ideas for me when I graduated. Everyone wanted me to open a studio and do this and do that. And it was really overwhelming of, what do I really want? Mm-hmm. I didn't really want to open a studio. I just felt like I was having so much fun teaching everywhere at the time. And that was just a different season of life. It was, I was young, I was impressionable, and I was really overwhelmed by everybody's ideas for me. And I'm proud that I kind of stuck with what I wanted to do, and grateful for opportunities that didn't work out because it led me to my path.
So cool.
It's amazing. So when does it become more than a workout? When does the community aspect come in? And when do you really feel like that aha moment that you're like, this is so much more than just a workout, and this can be a brand that is, you know, going to be around for a while?
Well, just like UMass, it started with a really small class. It was about just giving people the best experience, even if there were 2 people in front of me. And that's how it started at UMass. And just like my college career, the more I taught, the more people talked about the class and where can we find you next and where are you going? And it just kind of snowballed. And it was a little scary, and it was definitely humbling moving to Boston because I had to start over. There were people who I went to college with, but I was in a whole new game of fitness and teaching people what Kick It was about and what the community was about. Leaving UMass Amherst, they implemented a ticket system because classes got so out of hand. Like there were so many people coming to classes, and moving to the city, I was not coming in cocky. I knew. I was like, this is going to be really different and kind of scary. So it's the same thing of putting forth effort of giving people a good experience no matter how many people were in class. And I think at the time it was a little unique to be teaching like my own method and doing my own pop-up events and just kind of like making these splashes around the city. So I was really lucky that Boston Magazine at the time, one of the writers was always writing about what I was doing, which was so
I was
great.
going to say, because this all predisposed to social media. So there's no like, I mean, we had Facebook at the time, but we weren't like connecting with our friends. I mean, Instagram, we were posting like pictures of blades of grass and stuff. Like, it's not like it was like you could put yourself out there on social media. It was such a different time. So it was either word of mouth or traditional media like that, like a newspaper.
I remember I started using Instagram my senior year of college. So 2013, I started using it, but it was very Facebook heavy for me. So I had a Facebook group, and that's where I'd post like the articles that were written about Kick It. And it was still very Facebook heavy. But I'm really grateful for the people who wanted to cover Kick It and what it was about. And I gave them like good content and an interesting story. It really helped build my brand. And then 2016, so 3 years after I graduated, I decided there were a few things that happened that year. The first thing is I decided I wanted to certify people to teach Kick It because I just thought it was a really good leadership opportunity for other people to put the mic on and teach. And I could tell people wanted to lead. You know, you have people who are in like the front row of your classes, and you can see that they're like really energetic and they can maybe teach the class better than you can. Yeah. So I just started thinking, how can I certify other instructors to also teach at some of the opportunities that I'm getting that I can't go to because I'm already teaching somewhere. So it was twofold of giving people an opportunity because I could see it, like the front row girls, I could see that they could teach. And also,
front row girls.
Why are we the front row girls?
And also, how can I fulfill some of these opportunities that I can't be at because I'm already teaching somewhere?
Yeah.
So that was one thing that happened in 2016 that I started. And then the second thing is I was working with New Balance. I would say in the 3 years living in Boston and teaching around town, I was at New Balance events and just kind of like talking with people who worked at New Balance because New Balance is right in the Brighton Austin area.
Yeah, local to us.
Yeah. So I was mingling with them. And 2016, I had to like categorize it. It was like a sponsored athlete deal, but I'm not like a.
She's the OG.
But you are.
I'm not a football player, you know. So it's interesting. It was a really unique kind of niche thing they were doing, but they were sponsoring a handful of instructors across the country.
Amazing.
Looking back on the deal, it was so pivotal, and I knew it at the time. But looking back, I'm like, wow, that was like really great that I got to do that. The terms of the deal, looking at it now with more experience, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have been charging double of what
you live and learn.
Yeah, it was also a really long time ago. Yeah. So like influencer work was different back then in 2016. It was like bloggers were a thing then. And this space of like influencer outside of the blogging space was not really a thing yet. So I was just thrilled to have a deal with them. And I think
that's a big name.
It was huge.
It's a big name.
Yeah, it was really huge. And I'm again, reflecting on it, yes, like now would I negotiate better terms? But back then it was like perfect. You know, I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. And it was really fun because when I was certifying instructors, I started thinking about apparel and like, how can I get my instructors and communities to start wearing merch? And New Balance, a part of my contract was that with them was creating merch together. So that was a really pivotal thing.
Cool.
Yeah. And I really have to give a lot of credit to the people at New Balance who were very high up and really believed in me, because I know obviously like they're thinking of their product first, you know, they're thinking of the market that they're trying to reach and the influence that they're trying to have in certain like niche markets. But they really put a lot of effort into me, and that was so amazing. And I'm still close with a few people from that experience, and it's just so special that they believed in me because it really elevated what Kick It was about. And at events and stuff, they would like do free sneakers for people. And it's
amazing.
like everybody loves
I'm having
that.
flashbacks to the Wire events there.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes.
We had the one outdoors on those rolling hills.
Yep.
And I was like, how are we all not rolling down this massive hill? But it was a blast.
It was so fun.
And then one in the store, and everyone shopped after.
Yep. We did so many great events there.
Yeah,
it was
really cool.
Such a great place to activate and bring people to. And so 2016 was a big year. So started certifying people, New Balance. I also was in a grant funded position at the Brigham that the grant was wrapping up around that same time. So with New Balance having a lot of like belief in me, I decided I was going to go full-time fitness that same year. So there were a lot of things, like
a lot of moving parts.
And nothing was promised. You know, I was taking a leap, calculating like how many classes do I have to teach a week to like pay my rent.
bills.
Yeah. Like literally I was counting on those individual classes.
Yeah.
That's a very real game that a lot of instructors have to play.
Well, I guess that kind of brings me to my next question. You're at this crossroads here.
Yeah.
And like fears in starting a business and challenges that you face that maybe people didn't see from like the very beginning when you went full-time on that, to maybe challenges now that you face. I'd love to hear that, and the moments you thought, oh my God, this might not work.
Yeah, I think when you're running a business, it's more losses than wins, which is surprising to people because you usually just see the wins, but it's a lot of like clawing to feel any sort of success, like a drop of success. And then once you feel that success is like claw again, you know, it's not so simple. But when I was creating the LLC for Kick It, my brother actually helped me. So my brother and my dad owned a food distribution business in Boston, and my brother joined my dad's company to basically bring it to recent times. Like he was still doing things like writing like orders down and whatever. And so my brother came in and he made everything much more to the times, meaning like logging things online, a website. My brother's also 11 years older than me, so he's kind of like definitely like a big brother to me, and is always like looking out for me. He has an MBA. He's just business savvy. So when I was thinking about, do I go full time? He's the one who actually, I remember sitting at the warehouse in New Market Square in Boston with him, which is basically like a big freezer if you don't know the food world. And he said like, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to like file for an LLC, and we got to get like your bank account set up for the business, and we got to get you an accountant. And this was so over my head because I am a creative at heart. My mind is not hard numbers, logistics, finances. So I had to figure it out. In a sense, I had him, but it was like, oh man, like this is like what running a business is like. It's so hard and it's expensive. I had to get insurance for the business. Like, how much money is this going to be? Like, wow. It's really,
people don't think about that.
They don't. Yeah. They don't. It's very overwhelming. So there was a lot of fear. And once again, I'm calculating, okay, my New Balance sponsorship, but like I'm calculating how many classes do I have to teach a week to like
to pay the insurance,
to make this all work.
Business bills.
Yeah. And I kind of stayed in like an ignorance is bliss mindset probably for the first year. Like, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Like avoiding. We'll figure it out. Like things are getting paid, but like we'll figure it out. Don't fret. But it's a hard thing for a creative to also be a business person, like to have that dual mindset.
Yes.
It's a muscle that I've really had to nurture and flex and grow over time. And it's things that people don't even think about.
Yeah.
All the little things that, like, you know, payroll taxes and like how much you paying yourself a year. And there are so many little things like that. So the fear has always lingered, but it's just like my tolerance and my appetite for it has gotten a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's just like new stages and new sets of fear, you know?
New stressors.
Yeah. It doesn't really just disappear.
Yeah.
You just you know kind of how to handle it a little better.
So interesting.
So Kick It is like, tell us about sort of like what informs Kick It movement wise.
The class is mostly shadow boxing and kickboxing inspired, and it really does come from like my early days being in the gym with my mom, taking those like turbo kick classes. It wasn't until I started teaching at Everybody Fights where I learned actual boxing, which is very funny in my head because I had already been teaching a fair amount of time at that point. I think I started teaching at Everybody Fights in 2016. That year was big, like 2016 to 2017. That's when I started teaching there. And George, who owned the gym at the time, he Facebook messaged me. I'm telling you, everything was on Facebook still.
So funny.
George Foreman.
Yes. Messaged me and said, hey, like, I see you like doing these events. I actually was doing pop-up classes at his apartment building.
That's funny.
315 on A was right near Everybody Fights in Fort Point. And it was hard for him to not hear about me because I was literally on that roof, like bopping around teaching classes. And he was like, would you come teach Kick It at my gym? Yeah. And I'm like, to be honest, I say this now like kind of cringy, but to be so for real, when he messaged me, I was like, George Foreman, like the grill?
Yeah.
Like, really? I was so uninformed about his family legacy. I just feel like I'm a generation maybe like one removed. Like I feel like my brother and sister were like, no, you dope. Like his dad is like an all-time boxer, like big time.
We
big
only
time.
knew the grill.
Yeah.
We all only knew the grill. But it was just such a moment too. Like everyone was going at 2016.
Yes. Everyone was going. And so I said to him, I said, I'm happy to like explore what this will look like, but I actually don't have any proper training in boxing. And so I would want someone to train me in boxing before teaching at your gym, because talk about imposter syndrome. I was like, I can't be.
This is literally what I was setting the question up for. That's what I want you to get into, because I struggle with imposter syndrome. I know you do too.
Yeah, everybody does.
Please tell us a little bit more about that, especially when it's like such like a boxing can be so male dominant. I'm curious how, like, as a female and as an instructor that was already established, and you had your people, but like it's still so new and so scary to come into something like that in that environment.
That's the thing. I was so flattered that he wanted me to bring the class, but in my head I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I don't have any experience. This is a male dominated sport. Yeah. Like, there are boxing rings in your gym. Like, I've seen pictures. How am I gonna like float in there and just teach Kick It? Like, who's coming to this class, by the way? Like, is it like these guys?
Like,
you know,
I don't know if this makes sense.
Yeah. But he trained me himself in boxing, and it was so beyond valuable, as you can imagine, getting trained by him.
Improving your
also
practice.
Iconic, kind
yeah.
of.
Yeah,
like,
so cool.
What a thing to have on your resume.
Very
Super
iconic.
cool.
And he's a good friend. Like, he's a whenever I chat with people about this too, I always note that George is a businessman. He knew what he was doing bringing me in, because he knew my female millennial following would come to the gym and it would be an opening for them to try boxing, and it would snowball into all the other formats that they had. Yeah, it was getting people in the door. He never made me feel like what I was doing was small or stupid or girly. He really just has an eye for business, and it was over my head. I was just like, are you crazy, dude? I'm not coming in here to teach this class.
Wow. I like when you said an eye for business, because there is so much fluff in the fitness industry, right?
Yeah.
So it's like just seeing like he's looking straight ahead at exactly what makes sense for him and kind of like eliminating the fluff. So I think that's something that like I'm going to take away from this episode.
100%.
So owners also are usually scared to bring in someone who has their own format. That now more so, I know a lot of studios have their own formats, which I understand from a branding perspective. He was also building his own branded classes and inviting me to teach my own there.
Wow.
So I think it's like, can you remove yourself from like your ego and protecting everything and being so like white knuckling your business and like think about, wait a minute, are there ways to reach a new market?
Collaborate.
Yeah.
Bring in new people.
Yeah. Always like to give him his flowers, so to speak, when I talk about my journey, because I got to work with him during the pivotal time of 2016, 2017. Boutique fitness at that time was popping off.
Booming.
Cycling was everywhere. Crazy. It was wild.
Yes.
So just like at UMass, it was like I was prepping myself and I was doing what I needed to do, but the timing was very key.
Okay, so we talked about your experience at Everybody Fights. Did you teach any other formats, or you just taught Kick It?
I started with Kick It, and I was so afraid to branch out because Kick It was all I knew, but teaching at Everybody Fights and Equinox as well, I started teaching other formats like Tabata, or I started teaching, this was really popular, EBF, was Bags and Beats.
Yes.
That was a big one. That was like basically Kick It on the bags.
Yes.
So it was really fun for me to teach. So I started branching out, but still
I took that class once.
You did?
The only class of yours I've ever taken.
It was Bags and Beats?
I took that one class, Bags and Beats.
It was so fun.
With her?
Yeah, my friend Danae, well, shout out to Danae, but she lived in the city and she went to Everybody Fights every single day. But I lived in New Hampshire at the time. So I'm like, let me just pop into the city and like bop around. We went to your class, but we would go everywhere. Like Soul Cycle was huge at the time.
For sure.
Gold's Gym in Southie was
Gold's
crazy.
Gym was a real thing. Yes. What the heck is Peter Welch?
Welch.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm like, I know what this is.
I know.
So
There's
wild.
So much at the time.
That was also interesting too, because Peter Welch's gym is like very Boston, like boxing, gritty, real deal. And I know that when EBF came in, it was like, what the heck is this like luxury take on boxing?
Yeah.
And I think I don't actually know the facts to this, but I think there were some feelings about EBF opening kind of down the road. And I think that it almost though opened up people's eyes to boxing.
Totally,
EBF did.
definitely.
And I think it was probably good for surrounding boxing gyms to have people interested in the sport.
Absolutely.
Now, on that note, it's obviously so competitive, this industry. It is, jam-packed. It is full. But do you feel like there's a place for everyone? How do you deal with competition as far as social media? Do you ever feel like you're getting into that spiral where you personally are comparing?
Yeah.
When someone launches something new, are you feeling like, dang, like I should launch something new? Like, how do those feelings come up? How do we deal with them? How do we see them for what they are? How do we move on past them? I just kind of want to like pick your brain on that.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting when I was coming up in Boston, like in the fitness scene, because again, I was just happy to be teaching anywhere and everywhere. And it wasn't until like other people started chirping in my ear about stuff. Like, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you seen this program? And I'm like, oh, like, should I be caring about it? Like, the noise can be so loud. And everybody likes to like chirp in your ear about what's going on. And there was a period where it was so hard for me to get onto social media and like scroll and look at what everyone was doing. It just felt overwhelming. Like what you're doing is not enough. And I was also like at that time just kind of again thinking about how many classes do I have to teach to pay my bills. And so when you have that mindset and you're scrolling on social media, it's like a little bit of a recipe for disaster. Like you're just begging to get into like a spiral of what everyone else is doing, how you're not doing enough. And I think it goes back to having a tolerance and also knowing what's reality and what you're just kind of getting into a tizzy about in your head. You just got to focus on what you're doing. I mean, there are always going to be new things that are coming up. In my experience, I'm also not like a big studio. So like I'm competing with so many different, spaces, but there really is room for everybody. There are so many people in this world and the industry is so big. So I think you just have to put your blinders on a little bit and not be so afraid that someone's going to, outperform you. It's just, you have to like stick with the facts.
You're confident in what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. So speaking of, there being so many studios, and that's overwhelming for you as a small business owner. Take us from you then teaching at Everybody Fights and doing your pop-ups to that pivot to your now primarily online platform.
Yeah. When I was like right before COVID, when I was in the thick of what Kick It was at that time, I had a pop-up studio in the Seaport. And I remember one of the girls in my class was like, you might have to go online soon. Like this COVID thing is like kind of crazy. And I remember laughing, literally laughing. And
he was like, hell no.
Yeah. I really remember laughing at her like, yeah, okay, maybe. But a little context to that, I had already been dabbling in the online space. So in 2019, I filmed a class with Pop Sugar, and that was my first exposure.
Whoa.
It was huge.
Epic.
I just did a reel about it. You saw it, Stacey, last night.
It was so cool.
Like almost 7 years to the day this video came out. And when I got the offer to go film with them out in LA, I was like, yeah, of course. But I had no idea what was going to come of it. I literally was like, just like, get me on a plane. Let's go. And then when the video came out and it was reaching all these people outside of Boston and was getting like so many likes and so much engagement, I was like, wow, this is something to think about. Like,
so cool.
How do I get more exposure like this? And what do I do with it? Like, what do you do with a viral moment? Because that video was not just like my finish line. It was really like a spark to what was to come, which we can talk about too. In terms of like, people want viral moments, but it's like, what are you going to do with it?
Oh, I have so much to ask about that. I want to hear about this, but then I want to get back to the viral moment. We're going to have ours really soon. It's coming. So we're going to turn it into something amazing.
I have so much to say on that. So I had filmed with them, and shortly after I was filming with a company in New York called NeoU. They had a fitness app, and it was just great exposure. It was a really good experience to be on camera and see what it's like to kind of go that route. But I laughed at this member in Seaport at our class being like, online is not going to be my like bread and butter. Like it just was a fun side quest for me. So in 2019, I did decide that virtual wasn't going to be the main thing about Kick It, but I wanted to make something of it because I saw the traffic that classes were getting, and it was really well received on Pop Sugar and NeoU. So it's like, all right, Eliza, do something with it. Like, figure it out, do something with it. So I hired a business coach in 2019, and it was the biggest investment I had ever made. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I was so scared.
Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands.
It wasn't four figures, but it was expensive. It was expensive. It was expensive. And I was so scared. I'm like, okay, I'm risk adverse. I like to try things. I'm a go get it girl, but I'm also a little risk adverse. So I was scared of what I was really doing, but I had to do something.
What did your brother say?
Go for it.
Go for it?
Yeah, he's like, go for it.
I love that.
He's like, it doesn't matter how much it costs. If you're going to get your return on investment, do it. I'm like,
it's all about the ROI.
It's all about the ROI. That's right. He is so good at teaching me. You have to spend money to make money. Yep. And that was a new skill I really had to learn. And that was 2019. Yeah. So like well into teaching, you know? So things accumulate over time. It's like you don't just learn overnight. So 2019, I hired this coach, and we get to working on what this online experience would be. I wanted to bring the certification online. I wanted to bring some classes online. And then, of course, we know what happens in March. Everything shuts down. And I was so lucky to have her in my corner because she was the one who helped me get my virtual membership started.
Wow, talk about timing.
Yeah, really.
You have
crazy.
Like such an interesting path with timing and meant to be moments.
Wild. It's just so crazy. So we brought everything online, and it was just like this. Not rat race, that's not the word I'm looking for, but like this wild chase of doing everything really fast and trying to do it right. Like I didn't have a platform period before. I wasn't like nurturing some little thing and then like so we hit the gas.
Yes. You're like coding and coming up with what your class is going to be.
Yes. So like learning the software, learning how people are going to pay. What's the insurance? My insurance like tripled during COVID. It was crazy. It was so crazy. My instructors, I need to give my instructors a place to teach. They're not teaching anywhere. Yeah. So what is that model going to look like? And I actually set up a model for them where it was pretty lucrative for most of the instructors, where they were getting paid per member that was coming in. And at the time, my business was skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So
really
it made,
good,
like, looking back, I'm like, damn, those girls were making some moolah.
Damn, those girls I'm like,
Good for you.
I'm here for an audition.
Yeah, right? And it worked at the time because my business was literally skyrocketing. I couldn't believe it. It's very funny reflecting on it now because the product is so much better now.
Yeah.
And like, oh, like, gosh,
I remember taking the classes when COVID literally first hit and we were all like just trying to move in our homes.
Yes.
I was like 8-month-old at home and I was like, I'm just going to do this in my living room.
Yes, absolutely.
And I loved it.
There was so much learning in that. And it's been extreme learning on the other side of COVID.
Can I just say, it's really cool that you invest in your instructors like that, because then it makes your instructors want to invest in their product and what they're giving and what they're delivering. It's like they're not just like turning on that computer and filming.
No.
They've thought through.
Yes.
Hours has gone into this.
Yes.
And it can really shine through.
The funny thing about our instructors is a lot of the OG instructors that started in 2016 and got certified then, or like the earlier years, Kick It was their first form of exposure to teaching. Yeah. And it's really only until they go to teach at other studios that they realize like what they're getting within Kick It. They're like, oh, like it's
different. Oh, this isn't what everyone's getting.
Yes. Okay. Leslie, who helps me with a lot of the back end stuff, she's also an instructor and helps mentor the instructors now. But we call it OG energy. Like some of the OG instructors will go out into like the real world of fitness, or they won't, and we're like, do you know how like much we care about you and how like nice?
Like, never mind. Back to Eliza.
Take it back.
Just kidding.
You're like, the wind is pulling me back.
Yes.
But I really care about all of our instructors. To a fault. You know, there have been many times over my career where people have taken advantage of my kindness, and that's also a learning experience too, of like running a business and also managing close relationships and, you know, being kind to everybody. But yeah, COVID really kickstarted this virtual thing. Coming out of it, it was really jarring because people were going back to gyms and studios. So I had a very unrealistic start with my virtual membership because it was like, woohoo! Booming. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, this is coming again from a girl who was counting how many classes does she have to teach to pay her bills, you know? It wasn't like quite adjacent to that moment, but that's how you come up in the fitness industry is like teaching per class. So when my business was really taking off, it was just it was scary and it was incredible. And I wasn't prepared for this turn of events where people are going back to gyms and studios, which I think it was just like being a little naive at the time, because it's no surprise, like things are eventually going to go back to a neutral state. So then the game was, how do I change the structure of my business, like with this virtual platform being my main stream of revenue and income? How do I shift it now that a lot of people are going back to the office or going back to their gym or studio? And so it's been a lot of trial and error and evolving to meet people where they're at. But there is a huge market for working out at home.
Well, it's funny because I remember I was teaching reformer Pilates in the pandemic, and there's 12 reformers in the room. We took 6 out. So social distancing, had like shower
social
curtains,
distancing,
clear
trigger
crazy.
We had clear shower curtains. I'll never forget. There was like probably like between 60s and 70-year-old woman. She was halfway. They're in their masks. Halfway through the class, she pulls down her mask and she goes, I can't do this. I'm going back to my virtual classes. And I just think that there's some people that went virtual. Yeah. Once you go virtual, some people can't go back. It's like the gorgeous part of their day and their home, and it's just become part of their life. I think that for the pandemic has shifted that one aspect, like working from home and working out from home. Those two things will always be sort of ebbing and flowing in our lives.
Absolutely. And I went back to teaching in-person pop-ups and classes. Like I love doing that.
I was going to ask you, like, as an energy person, what was it like to just like all of a sudden shut it down? No more teaching in front of people.
Well, it was crazy because people were like banging on the door of like, you're teaching online, right? You know, it was
Can
like,
I come in?
Yeah. So it wasn't really starting. Again, it was an unrealistic start. I was starting with people like really
ready to go.
Ready. And they were like tuning in. It was like the wildest.
Figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a shift, but also we were in such a strange time. It was survival mode. Yeah. Like in general, but also for my business. Like, was my business about to tank? That was a real thought.
Yeah.
I didn't have it figured out. So it was a real thought of like, are all these years going to go down the drain? And that was when I was like, throw spaghetti at the wall, like just start, teach on Zoom, like just start. Yeah, just start.
You always like, I wouldn't be sitting here on this couch if Stacey didn't look me in the eyes and say, just start.
Yeah, you need somebody.
Just do something and
start. Absolutely. And it certainly wasn't perfect. Again, looking at the product now, like what we were doing then, it was fine. We were doing our best, but I'm like, we just had a virtual member come back today, actually. She signed up for our membership again. And I said to her, a lot has changed since you've been here last, for the better. You know, I was like excited for her to see the evolution. But yeah, fitness at home, there's so much room for it. It's just a different way of supporting people. You know, it's a different way of bringing people fitness at home versus during COVID.
Well, I think what's cool about your brand and your business is what you offer is both virtual and then your pop-up in-person events are like, so lovely. And just like the energy is just like oozing, and it's just like such an experience.
Yes, we like to think that this podcast is for everyone, but we do know that mostly moms listen to us. So I think it's really cool that there's still like this product that is to the level. It's not like it's 50% of level.
That's right.
Level. It's 100%.
Yeah, we're going 100%.
And that mom gets to do that at the nap. Like, I think that's so awesome.
Really
it's
cool.
not just like a little YouTube video, like,
correct.
You know, a random person that you'll never see their face again. It's like someone that's invested in your exercise 100%. Even at home.
And moms are such a sweet spot for the membership. We have instructors who, you know, have gone through their motherhood journey, having kids, awesome. Teaching pregnant. That was really important for me. It's like, if you're comfortable teaching, like, let's capture this moment, because so many moms are a part of our membership. And it's also showing moms that you don't need a ton of time to get a good workout in, and we can help dismantle this idea that if you're not working out for an hour and like sweating your ass off and dripping, like, then it doesn't count, you know? So it's really just about meeting people where they're at. And I'm actually doing a rebrand of sorts right now for the membership. And one of the things that I'm really focusing on is speaking to moms and how we can support them, and making it just a more prominent part of our marketing and our membership. And moms are amazing, literally superheroes, even though you don't have to be feel like a hero at all times, but just watching our members and our instructors go through that motherhood journey, whether it's like trying to conceive or, you know, postpartum, it's just it's incredible. And I just want to be a safe space for women to get back to movement.
I have to ask you, Eliza, what is your own routine like? Like, are you filming on one day? What's your own exercise routine? How do you get it in with the business?
That's such a good question. We tell our instructors that the classes you're teaching aren't your workout. Like, don't treat it like it's your own workout. It's really for other people. But as it stands right now, the way I teach virtually, when I'm teaching virtually, it is my workout because it's so visual that you really do have to do a lot of movement. So when I'm teaching in person, I do less movement and more coaching and cueing. When I'm doing virtual, it's really about exaggerating the movements and doing mostly everything with them. Not the whole 100%, but it's definitely my workout. With our schedule right now, we have a live virtual schedule. All of the classes are recorded, but for the most part, my appearances on the virtual schedule are consistent. So like Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I'm working out, I'm teaching. Those live sessions again are recorded, so I'm not filming separately from those classes. But we do special programs, and that I do film separately. And then that's like a whole beast of you gotta
programs like postpartum.
An example, like we came out semi-recently with FEMPIRE 15, so it was 15-minute workouts, and that was something that I'm like, you really have to plan for, because I'm teaching and then I'm recording, and that's where it can get like really tricky in terms of energy wise. But one thing I started doing over the winter time, because my schedule is kind of like seasonal in busyness, I started taking yoga classes just to have something for myself. And I'm trying to get back into it. And I'm hesitating with my words because I haven't been in like 2 months. But it was so nice to have something for myself. It's just finding the space to do it.
I think our audience will be like, wow, it's so good. Like, we're just all girls. Like,
Yeah.
we're just all doing the best that we can.
Absolutely.
With our time. So I think that's extremely relatable.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So talking about like, starting your fitness routine and trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
What can you give for encouragement to women who want to start something, whether it be a new fitness routine or maybe it's a business or maybe it's a brand, but maybe they feel nervous, unsure. What advice would you give to them?
For all of those things, start small.
Yeah.
So working out wise, like the number one question I get is, how do I find motivation to start again? And it's like, we created programs like FEMPIRE 15 and like 15-minute workouts, or Take 20 is another popular one of ours, 20-minute workouts. So it's, how can you dismantle this idea that you have to go all in 100%, an hour workout every single day, like start extremely small. And the same thing with the business, like take it one step at a time, start small, start messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Same thing with working out. Just take one step forward, one small step forward.
That's important. I love that. I think like a lot of people sometimes probably think like you start a business or you start a routine, like you said, it has to be like everything, all or nothing. And we're like, you and I are always like, stay the course, slow and steady.
Yeah.
Like you got your vision and stay true to who you are again, whether it be
we've done it
whether
balls
be
to the
business.
wall. Like we've done it that way.
Yeah.
And
we're like, nope, this isn't it.
I mean, we both have like severe autoimmune diseases that we have at point, but it's just like, when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, it's not the same as being 21. It's like you really have to make sure you're taking care of your body. And that's not going to be from going from zero to running a marathon.
Yeah.
There has to be like some steps to take care of yourself for longevity. Longevity is like my favorite word because I want to be 80 and I want to be doing Pilates.
Yeah.
Sick.
And you will.
Love it.
I will.
So proud of
We
you.
will. Yeah. We'll still be Pilates before pickup. It will be like Pilates before
Mahjong.
exactly. Before cocktails and mahjong.
Right.
Pilates during retirement.
Yes. Well, so what do you wish someone told you when you were first starting your business?
I think the advice that I could have used is not everything has to be perfect, for sure. Like I was really good at just doing things, but there was always this idea in my head of like, is this good enough? Like, does this look like professional enough? And trying to present like I had a whole team behind me when it was just me. Like, it's okay. You don't have to have the fanciest this, that, the other thing. People are more concerned with like the experience they're getting. So just continue to focus on what's the experience that people are receiving versus do I have like the fanciest studio I'm teaching out of, or like is my Instagram post the most professional, or it just continue to focus on how to give people a good authentic experience.
Yeah, because people will remember you and how you made them feel.
Yeah, they're not going to remember that you messed up an 8 count,
right? Or your left or your right.
Can I go rogue for a second?
Absolutely.
Putting the cards down. Right. Here's my rogue question for you. Still be working. I need to know how you set boundaries. What do you do for fun? How
ask
do you
my
shut
therapist.
It down? Yeah, ask mine too. But I'm just curious, like as the years have gone on, I feel like mental health is such a topic. We talk about mental health quite a bit on this podcast.
It's a big part of what I do. Yeah.
Big part of what we hope to do too. I just need to know, like, have you learned the hard lessons, like about, like taking phone calls when you shouldn't be, or like things are getting worked up because you're tired and it's 10 p.m. or like, I don't know. I'm just curious about how that kind of comes into your life.
That's a great question because I am by nature a people pleaser. And it is really one thing I talk about in therapy a lot is boundaries with my work, because it's not, sometimes I'm like, I wonder what it's like to work a 9 to 5 and like leave the office and shut the door. Like, what a thrill. Yeah. Grass is always greener on the other side, but it's a practice. Like you have to literally practice setting your own boundaries, and it's also a self-respect thing. The way you teach people to respect your boundaries is really important, and it doesn't have to be harsh. That was one thing, like coming out of college and like kind of feeling like at the mercy of everybody. Like, I'll teach wherever you want. I'll do whatever. Yeah. I'm there. Yes. I'll do it for free. No problem. You learn quite quickly that that's not a life that's sustainable. And that is part of the reason why I hired a business coach in 2019, because what I was doing was not sustainable. I was all over the place. So I was like, if I want to do this for the long run, I got to figure out how to have boundaries, how to monetize better, how to have not more partnerships, but like quality partnerships, you know, and really take it from like chaotic, like all over the place to almost like smaller and more quality control of what I was doing.
Wow, I love that. I think so many people could benefit from that mentality.
Yeah, it was a really hard shift. It wasn't until I realized like, I can't do what I'm doing forever, like the way I'm doing it. And I don't want to. Like, I don't want my business to rule my life. Being a business owner, of course, it can be so consuming, but how can I try my best to create a schedule for myself that doesn't make me anxious, you know, and doesn't make me feel super frantic. But it's a practice. Yeah. It really is. And it's like talking to people about it, you know, talk to professionals about it. It's a real thing because it's going to impact your mental health. I'm still up at night, you know, doing like random things on my computer because I can just open.
Like if you see DMs coming through.
That's one thing where I'll actually wait. I'm with DMs, and actually a new thing that I did last year, but doing more this year, is mentoring other small business owners. And we have really cool. Part of what I'll do with them is we have a shared WhatsApp, and in that WhatsApp, it's like a chance to like ping me about like there's a really great person I'm working with. He's opening a boxing studio, and he was giving me an update on the LOI, but he sent the message at 10:30 last night, which is totally fine. Yeah. But I didn't respond until 9 this morning. Yeah. And it's just about like setting the expectation of like, ping me at any time. I will likely get back to you. I always say like during business hours, like whatever my business hours are. Yeah. But like, I'm here for you 110%. Just know that I'll respond when it's like those like business hours.
It's funny. I always tell Kels, it's like I'll either text her at like the most random evening hour or the most random morning hour. And I always preface them like, this is my brain dump. Yeah. Brain dump here. For sure. Do not respond right now because I know this is an inappropriate time.
Yes. Yeah. Stacey's really good about it because I'm like a firm like 8 to 9 p.m. like DND. Like I will just find if I'm on my phone, I can't sleep. And I already have sleep issues, so I have to be like, I'm doing all the things. Like the red light, the sleepy tea, the face mask. Literally, I look like a psychopath. But I didn't learn that until like honestly, really when I had kids is when I was like, if I don't get quality sleep, I will be a monster.
Yeah, I mean it's so important.
But she's so good. She'll say like, these are my thoughts, this is my brain dump, and then like at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Like, you're like, I can do it now.
Actually, it's honestly like 6 a.m. She's like 9 p.m. and I'm like 6 a.m.
Yeah, you know what's funny is when you turn on your do not disturb and I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up.
I put it on last night. I was like, good night.
No, you didn't.
I don't even say good night. I'm like, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
We're like mid convo and then she turns on do not disturb. I was like, okay.
But some people would feel some type of way with that. And those types of people I cannot be in business with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just about like open communication about it. You know, like I'm gonna put my do not disturb on at whatever time. Yeah. I actually bought a brick. Have you guys heard about
I've heard about recently that. I was just listening to a little podcast about that and I'm like, do I need the brick? But
I love it. You do. I love it. I put it so like you have to physically tap it to that device and I keep it on my fridge. So at night I'll tap my phone to it to brick all the apps that I don't want to be using, and then I go upstance and like
that's a cool way to use
it. There's no way when I'm in bed I'm gonna get up
and go
downstairs just so I can look at Instagram, you know? But
I need that.
It's really great.
Okay. Not during business hours because you're so good at Instagram during business hours.
At like 8 o'clock,
you choose. You choose. Yeah.
Okay,
cool. Take a deep breath and do it.
Should we do rapid fire?
Yes. Rapid fire her ass.
Okay. Misconceptions about running a business.
That every day is glamorous and there are wins on wins on wins.
Something that people don't see behind the scenes.
There's a lot more thought behind all tiny details that people, you know, see or get. There's just so much thought that goes into every move.
What does success look like now versus when you originally started this?
It's more quality over quantity. When I started, I was so focused on like big classes and like, you know, sold out rooms, whatever that means. And now I just really want a business that is really good in quality and reaches the right people.
Do you have a favorite activewear brand, like a go-to?
I've been really loving Viore lately. I have not really gotten hooked on just like one specific brand, but I love the fit of Viore.
I gotta know, like, what's your hair products? Like, your hair is so good. I have to know.
I love talking hair. Right now I'm using Rizzo's curl products. You can get at Ulta. And another good one is Bounce Curl.
Bounce Curl. I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have their famous brush. They're really known for
that's
it.
probably what I
Is it one of those like things that has it on like the handle?
Yeah, on like the spikes on the side. There's so many knockoffs.
I need to get one for my daughter.
Yeah,
I'm on a curly hair journey with Cameron.
Hair journey, yeah.
It's fun.
I need to know like
work.
how you're maintaining this gorgeous curly hair and teaching like all the
Well,
time.
I keep messaging Rizzo's and I'm like, let's work together. Like,
Rizzo's, what are you doing? Don't miss this opportunity. Hello.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It really is a pain in the ass. But I will say the one good thing about curls is like when it gets wet, it doesn't matter. Like my hair's curly, so it's just gonna like create more curl in my hair. But I can't blow it out. Like I can't like after class just like make it perfect again.
Right.
So it is kind of tricky.
It's a journey.
It is.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
Anything that you're can tease or that you're excited about summer wise, spring, summer?
Oh, sure. So this is not signed, sealed, and delivered. So I'll put this in like the manifesting category.
Let's manifest.
We're gonna manifest it. One thing I'm really interested in is using all the experience I have in creating a virtual platform and almost like white labeling it for other companies.
Yes.
So creating that for other companies, which and with my healthcare background, maybe in a healthcare hospital setting, that would be really cool.
Really cool.
Really cool, yeah.
And there are some wheels of motion on that, but it's not signed. Like until something is signed, I'm like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I never get my hopes up quite yet. But just marrying my two worlds of public health and also like my experience now creating a virtual platform, it's like how can we serve different communities? So that's hopefully this summer something
cool.
That's amazing. And also that muscle you're working on, which is the non-creative one, is real flex during that. So that's amazing. Your brother's like, yeah, she is. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to my brother last week and he I was like just pulling him up to speed and he was like, oh wow, so like you're really like, going after things this year. I'm like, I've been going after things, but it's just like closer to reality, right?
Something tangible that he can like black and white. My husband's like literally the exact same way. So he's like, so you're filming a podcast? Like he just has so many questions because he's like, so where's the money? You know?
Yeah.
So it's so funny because when you talk about your brother, it's literally Lee, is it not Lee?
Yeah.
And your husband
The tactical.
too. Yeah,
the tactical.
Yeah.
All right. I have one final question before we tell the people where they can find you and how they can, move with you and hang out with you. Looking back from 2009 to now, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of the fact that I've stuck with it the whole time because obviously there are ebbs and flows and so many twists and turns, and running a small business is not for the faint of heart. And I'm just so proud that I haven't given up and I've adapted to the chapters, the seasons that I'm at in life.
So good.
Thank you.
Eliza,
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
I
for
will
having
look
me.
back on this conversation for years to come. I think this will help a lot of people and honestly helped us.
I know. Well, I'm like ready to like talk more.
Yeah,
I'm like, let's shut this off. I have so many
questions.
We have so much to talk about. So let's tell the people where they can find you.
Sure. Yeah. So everything is at Kick It by Eliza. So website's kickitbyeliza.com. Instagram is mostly where I'm at, is at Kick It by Eliza. And you can find virtual and in-person classes and our certification and all of our other stuff.
I love it. And she's got a cutie little puppy that she always shares on her Instagram.
He's a nice
you
guy.
have to come back for a part 2.
I'd love to.
So much more.
I'd love
that
to.
was just the surface.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for part 2.
Stay tuned. All right. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you.
We'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.